in the courtroom. Spectators, photographers, journalists, they all wanted to see the adulteress with their own eyes. "There's the hussy now!" People pointed their fingers at her as soon as she walked out of the building. "Shame on you, you tramp!" People spat on the ground in front of her. "Disgusting!" Clara wanted to turn and run back inside, but she took a deep breath and squared her shoulders. She would survive this too. Her daughter was waiting for her. Besides, she had to convince Gerhard to give her Matthias as well. A photo, please." Before she knew it, someone was holding a huge camera in front of her face. A flash blazed and she flinched. The photographer laughed. "Mrs. Gropius, an interview for the Berlin Mirror?" A heavy-set man with sweat marks at his armpits stepped directly in front of her. "Mrs. Gropius, how does it feel to be a divorced woman?" Relief washed over Clara when she spotted Josephine and Isabelle pushing their way through the crowd. "Thank God," she whispered when her friends took her between them. "Leave this woman in peace," Isabelle shouted at the pack of journalists. "Take off," Josephine snapped at them. "The circus is over. You can all go home." "Let's get away from here," said Clara, and she took off running. Her friends ran behind her as fast as the high heels of their fine summer shoes would allow. 2 blocks away, out of breath and sweating, they stopped at a small oval plaza with a wrought iron fountain in the middle and along the side 2 wooden benches shaded by chestnut trees. A few young girls played tag under the watchful eyes of a nanny. Clara was shaking as she sank onto one of the benches. Josephine sat beside her while Isabelle went to the fountain and dipped a handkerchief in the water. She handed the wet cloth to Clara, then slumped onto the bench herself. Clara dabbed at her forehead with the cool handkerchief. Dozens of thoughts swirled through her mind. For some time, the only sound was the twittering of the sparrows in the branches of the chestnut trees. It was Josephine who broke the silence. She slipped her arms around Clara and said, "Congratulations. From now on, you are a free woman again. You did what you had to do, and you did it well. I am so proud of you," Isabelle added, also embracing her. "The way that judge was stirring up the audience against you, I felt like slapping the old bastard. But you didn't let him get to you, and that was good." Clara smiled weakly. The entire process already felt like a bad dream. Had she really just battled her way through a divorce in that courtroom? "But the judge gave Gerhard the house and pharmacy," said Josephine. "Such an injustice. That belonged to your parents, which makes it your inheritance. You were going to build yourself a new future with that. Isn't there any room for an appeal?" Josephine's eyes gleamed angrily. "I'll address the properties later," said Clara grimly, standing up again. "Right now, I have to put all my energy into getting Matthias back." Isabelle and Josephine were instantly back on their feet. "We'll go with you." The thought of having her friend's protection was tempting, but Clara shook her head. "I think it would be better for me to speak to Gerhard alone. He has no time to raise Matthias in any case, and a boy of his age needs his mother. Gerhard has to see that, doesn't he?" Anxious, she looked from one to the other. Her 2 friends exchanged an equally anxious look. Instead of taking the tram, Clara made her way back to Louisenstadt, the district where she had lived until 6 months earlier, on foot. She needed the time to build up courage to go back to her old home. Since Gerhard had applied for the divorce at the beginning of spring, Clara had been staying with Josephine. There was more than enough room for her in their large, elegant house in the city, and Adrian, Josephine's husband, had raised no objections to the arrangement. Every day they had collected Josephine's daughter, Amélie, from school. In the schoolyard, Clara could at least catch a glimpse of her own daughter, Sophie, and was occasionally able to exchange a few words with her. "Mama loves you. She's thinking about you all the time." Any more than that had been impossible since Gerhard's lawyer.